Amy, can you hear me?
Bear with me 1 second.
Hello.
I don't appear to be able to hear you, which is always good for technical difficulties when getting started.
You can hear me? Hello.
No.
Hi everybody, we are just waiting for Amy.
There we go. Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
All good.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. That was a nice, entertaining start to things, but yeah, I'm having a nice day. How about you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah, really good. Thank you so much for joining us today to chat all things party sewing.
Exciting.
I know, I'm really looking forward to hearing all your top tips and the kind of things you like to sew for parties. The reason we're chatting about it today is, I'm sure you know, because of Love Sewing issue 113 is all about party wear and party sewing, and because we have our lovely Vogue party supplement book to go with it. I've actually got here the dresses. Well, I don't know, you can only see one, can't you? The dresses on the cover.
Lovely.
Which is lovely in this beautiful brocade. And here is the other version that's inside the magazine where we've colour blocked it.
Obviously, I like red and pink. So
me too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love yours a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you: have you ever made this Vogue pattern? And if not,
I haven't made that one, but when you picked it for the magazine, it really made me think, oh my gosh, that's such a hidden gem that's been hiding in our range. And yeah, I'm very lucky to receive a copy of Love Sewing. So when I'm going to make that one with my copy from the magazine.
Oh, super. Do you have plans? Do you know, because it's so good, you have 6 views. Have you decided which view you're going to make?
So I generally prefer to wear full skirts. I find them good for dancing and swanning around the place. So I was thinking definitely one of the versions with the full skirts and then maybe the longer sleeves, since the weather's not really on our side right now, is it?
No. Yeah, it sounds a good plan. And do you have a fabric in mind?
So I know Michelle and I have like secret chats about these things. I'm very tempted to make it in scuba, because I think it's so amazing that it's one of those patterns that can work in both wovens and stretch fabrics. So I think a scuba with maybe either an embossed texture or some foiling would add a bit of glam, but keep you really warm in winter. So yeah. I'm kind of leaning that way.
And will be really comfy as well. Won't be restricting your dance movements at all if you make it. And it's, yeah, excellent advice on how to sew it in knit fabric in the supplement. So
we've got Alison saying hi from Deal.
Hi Alison, thanks for joining us. Hope the weather in Deal is not too bad.
She says she wishes there are different neck options. Now I bet we've got some hacks.
Oh yes. You could make that easily into a square neckline or a V neckline.
I think would work nicely. Yeah.
Yeah. As low as you're willing to go. Alison, I don't know how.
Yeah, maybe Alison, what neckline would you like? And then we'll see if we can find a way to get that information to you as to how to hack it. Yeah. I like the round neck myself. Another thing I really like about this pattern is that the cut sizes are ready for you in different sizes and saves you having to do any adjustments as much and things like that. So that's really, really good. Yeah. So, I'm glad that we've inspired you, Amy, to dig it out and make it.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think if I am partial to a bit of colour blocking, so I think with this pattern, there are so many colour blocking options because it's made up from so many different panels. So yeah, I chose to colour block it down the middle to try and give that impression of maybe a sleeker silhouette. But on the packet, they gave various different colour blocking options. So, I mean, from one pattern, just think how many different dresses you could make.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, for people who don't follow patternreview.com, it's a wonderful place where people share their makes. Also, like using the hashtags on Instagram for our pattern numbers, you can see so many different versions, and a lot of times it's the same people making it over and over again because they've fallen in love with the design, and it looks completely different depending on the fabric you choose.
Absolutely, yeah. And then sometimes it can be hard to not motivate yourself, but if you've already got a pattern cut out and you know it's going to fit, and you know you can whip up that much quicker than starting something new, and it's a pattern that you love, then yeah, why not just keep going? That brings me on to another question I'm going to ask you is there a pattern that you have made again and again and again because it's one of your favourites?
Oh, I mean, I've got quite a few. I mean, the one I'm wearing today is the McCall's 7969, which a lot of people know because it's been just such an instant bestseller for us. It's been amazing. So I've made 2 versions of this with the classic wrap front, and then I've hacked it to have a round neck as well, different sleeve lengths. So I've made quite a few of those. I always like to try and make a pattern more than once to like get the most out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some dresses. When you change size and you sometimes need to make a slightly bigger or slightly smaller size, it's nice to revisit something that you know you love the dress, but now you can make it in another size and another fabric. So yeah, I am quite a serial reoffender.
A reoffender.
Can we let the secret drop about that pattern?
I was going to ask you, am I allowed
Yeah.
to say? That pattern is an amazing pattern, and yeah, super popular because it's quite a quick, easy one to sew as well, no fastenings. So it is going to be one of the cover mount patterns in the next issue of Love Sewing 114. Yeah. And I love that pattern too. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love that pattern, let's be honest.
It's absolutely been such a smash hit. There are thousands and thousands of versions out there on social media if you want to get inspired. It's very beginner friendly, like you said, because it's got no closures. People get scared of zips and buttons. It just throws on over your head, but it's super quick to sew up and works in prints and lots of different fabrics. Oh gosh, so good. I'm really excited for readers.
I mean, there's like all those things you've mentioned about the pattern are what make it popular, but for me, I think it's those big voluminous sleeves that have really appealed to everybody, that they're so dramatic and yet really easy to make. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, sleeves are still like such a big trend at the minute. Everyone wants that drama, but yeah, it's such a quick way to achieve it's a simple effect, but very dramatic.
Yeah, like you say, it's really good for showing off big bold print because there is quite a lot of fabric. Yeah. And I like the way when I wear mine, I feel like I'm like just wafting along, billowing down the street like a ship in full sail. Yeah, it's fab. Yeah. In terms of a party dress, though, I don't know if it's your favourite party dress, or do you have a favourite dress for a party?
Party dresses. I mean, people who are aware of what I like to sew, I'm always sewing dresses. I just live in dresses. I love wearing them. So I generally have, my wardrobe doors struggle to shut. I have
all in one wardrobe.
2 words.
I was going to say, I don't believe there's only one wardrobe of dresses in your house.
So yeah, I have one in my bedroom and one in my office because technically clothes are my life and my work, so I have clothes in my office.
Make those dresses, yes.
Exactly. I also love slightly vintage silhouettes, so I make a lot of our vintage Vogue sewing patterns because I love their kind of timeless quality. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's one necessarily. I just, with the danger of working for McCall's, there's always new inspiration. But I do love the Vogue range for party wear because there's so many kind of patterns to push your skills, and they really do design for more fancy fabrics. So you can usually find great party options.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, when I was putting this supplement together, I was spoilt for choice for which ones, I couldn't put them all in. But this.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to make that. That's on my list as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. That is definitely going on my list. I need somewhere to go. Yes, absolutely stunning. So do you have a plan for a Christmas? Do you have a Christmas party to go to? An excuse to make another dress for Christmas?
Oh, always. I find reasons to go out, and so I'm having some like catch-ups with friends. So there'll be kind of like dinner party style catch-ups and some drinks. So not necessarily needing a big ball gown. We're also going to have a McCall's Simplicity Christmas party, so I'll get to make something for that. Also, my family, we like to have a Christmas Eve kind of event where we all dress up and we have a lovely dinner and we play games. So I'll have a few excuses. So I have been sort of like pulling out patterns that really inspire me. And I kind of want to say to people as well, like, it doesn't have to be a dress.
No.
You know, you could just be making yourself the most fabulous top to go with your jeans and go out, you know, down the pub or out for dinner and feel really nice. Some people love skirts, jumpsuits. I mean, I don't necessarily wear jumpsuits myself, but I think they can look amazing on people. Something else I pulled out, this trouser suit is so cool.
Yeah.
You can just imagine it almost like a little tuxedo outfit for a party. I'm quite tempted by that. That's beautiful.
Yes, I am. Yes, it's so stylish, so sophisticated, and so the two together just look so put together as a complete look. Yes. Oh, I haven't seen that one. That's a new one for me.
This blouse is incredible. It's all made up from these amazing pleats that then create a billowing effect above and below the waist, and there's dramatic, lovely sleeves. I've seen a couple of versions of this made up, and it's so incredible. Yes, probably takes a little while, but it's a real showpiece.
Yeah, that is a showstopper, that one. Yeah.
Exactly. No one's saying it's a boring white shirt. That will get you noticed at the party. And then, I mean, even the one you had on the cover, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, another version, another model. Sewing sequins is a really fun skill to try. It can get a little messy. You can end up with little sequins all over your sewing room.
Oh, nice. I mean, if you're going to make a mess, at least make them with sequins.
Like you're in a party. But that's a really good skill to learn, and you get a beautiful dress out at the end of it. So yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed with options at the minute. I need to narrow them down.
That is half the battle, isn't it? Now? Yeah. So, okay. So the simplicity party, is that going to be a dress?
Probably. I do love a good excuse to wear a dress. And I was pulling out this dress.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Oh, that's very you, Amy. Yes, I can see you in that. Definitely.
As I mentioned, slightly vintagey. It's got this beautiful mesh overlay that's optional, so you don't have to wear it, but creates a beautiful kind of playful silhouette. So I thought that might be quite good. So I need to probably crack on with a toile or a little practice version of that. But yeah, I mean, how about you? Is the love sewing party going ahead?
It is. I ordered my meal the other day. Yes. So I did think, oh yeah, that's an event for an outfit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to confess, I don't think I'm going to make something new, because the jumpsuit that I made for the dressmaker's ball, which is
perfect
pattern, I can tell you, I wrote it down, is oh no, I haven't.
I don't know.
I'll have to show a link later.
Pull up the shoulder drape.
Yeah, it is on the pattern pic.
On your editor's letter, I saw.
Which page it's on?
On your number 3, you're on.
Oh, there we go. Oh yes, we have to do it. Oh yes. So I used M7047. I'm not very good at remembering the numbers. M7047 is this fabulous pattern with all different elements to it. So yes, you can have the cowl, or you can have a peplum. You can go short, you can go long, you can do so much with it. And so for the dressmaker's ball, I did hack it into a jumpsuit.
Marvelous.
A nice sparkly knit fabric. And I did make something for the ball with the intention of being able to wear it at another occasion. And I think I might shorten the legs a little bit so it's a bit more contemporary for a night out in town rather than a ball. So that's my plan. But, you know, like I said, never say never. I have got some nice black sparkly fabric in my stash at home. So maybe a V9202.
Could be.
I'm like you, I'll go for the flared option as well. I think this is really sophisticated though, the slim one.
I like to share patterns with my mum because she sews as well, and we always pick completely different views, and I think she would love the pencil skirted version. So yeah, we could end up going out in the same dress without even realizing it's from the same pattern.
And nobody would know, would they? Because it looks so different. Yeah,
exactly.
And do you have a favorite fabric for sewing party wear? You mentioned sequins.
So sequins are fun. They're a good challenge, but I would probably say I do like a metallic knit, because then you get the benefit of being cozy While looking sparkly.
Yes.
That's really good. But then also satin. I think satin is such a classic fabric that comes in so many different prints and colours. It's so versatile. And you can either get silk satin, or if you're a bit more budget conscious, polyester satin. So there's kind of a price point for everybody. And it always just looks great when the light hits you and you just feel like $1 million or £1 million coins, depending on
Yeah, or €1 million. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's very true. I really like crepe back satin.
lovely.
Especially with that, and the fact that you've then got sort of two sides of the fabric to play with, and sometimes it's nice to break up the dress with having the crepe side on top.
Yeah, that's great. It's got a nice weight to it as well. So for people who are afraid that satin's going to sort of slink off their sewing table, a crepe back satin's a bit more reliable. It's not trying to escape.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a really tough question now. I apologise in advance if it's hard. Do you have your favourite made dress of all time?
Oh, well, how can you make me pick?
I know, it's like favourite child. I'm sorry. You don't have to have it. If you need it, maybe top three.
Maybe, okay. You'll have to answer afterwards if not.
Okay, I've written them down ready just in case you have to.
So, I mean, I usually say generally my wedding dress is one of them because it took so much effort, and it's like a beautiful strapless silhouette. But I actually made that pattern several times, as we were talking about, and I made one for the dressmaker's ball, and that was like a Duchess satin, and then I made it in organza for my wedding dress. So it's kind of one of those timeless silhouettes. So that was S1606.
Absolutely astonishing. That's stunning.
Oh, thank you so
much. Digressing. What have you done with it? Is it on? Are you looking after it carefully?
It's all packed away. I did try it on the other day and it didn't zip up. So at the minute it's not got much chance to shine. But I was invited to go to a friend was setting up a florist business, and she wanted people to pose in their wedding dresses with flowers. So I had a quick try on, but it wasn't going up. So unfortunately couldn't help.
To at least look at it again and get it out and feel it.
I was writing something about organza and how to sew with organza, so I got it out to look at it for that. And it's got so many different techniques in, like rolled hems and prick stitching to like do tiny invisible stitches. So it's kind of like a nice reference point to a lot of techniques as well. So it comes out every now and then goes away. Other than that, oh my goodness, top.
That was a horrible question. It was really unfair. I'm sorry.
The picture that you used as the sort of coming soon for this chat is a embroidered lace with tile print that I made into a Vogue dress. I sort of mixed a load of Vogue dresses together to make a bit of a Dolce & Gabbana inspired lace dress. That is another absolute favourite of mine. Again, it was so difficult to figure out the placement of the lace, so it's sort of cut on the bias on the skirt and then positioned on the bodice, because it had all these lovely like lemons and Mediterranean tile designs that I wanted to place properly. I guess all my favourite ones are the ones I've kind of agonised over.
I think it sounds like you're picking ones that are like the most challenging, but then there's an element in there, they're the most satisfying because you have developed as you've made them. So not only are you pleased with the dress, but what you've achieved in making the dress.
Exactly. And then I have a recent favourite that I would recommend people to try because it's, again, such a lovely pattern, which is McCall 7974. And I've just made that in a chartreuse crepe. And it's got this lovely V-necked bodice with buttons all the way down. Yeah, there you go. And then you can do sleeves that have like ties or just a regular sleeve. Different lengths of skirt. You can change the collar up slightly. Oh, I see. We've got a link to it on the screen.
Magic.
It's magic. I love it. Such a beautiful dress, and something about it when I put it on, it kind of transforms me. Kind of feel extra glamorous in it.
Yeah, I need to make that one. How do you transform it? What's the number? What is it? M7?
7974.
Oh, that's my dressmaker's ball pattern. I don't know if you can see that now. There we go, M7974. Yes, that's so elegant. Yes.
Can I put in a special nomination
Ooh,
for the
go on.
Hidden Cats dress, that Abacan fabric?
Hidden cats.
So Kate and I,
Or actual cats. Let's get clear on that.
so Kate and I went to Abercan, which if you aren't lucky enough to have one in your area of the country, it's a northern sewing shop that specialises in pre-cut remnants. So you kind of rifle through these bins to find hidden treasure of different cut lengths. And Kate and I found the most incredible rose print blue denim with blue roses, and then nestled amongst the roses are the faces of cats sort of camouflaged in. Now it sounds insane, but it's somehow the most beautiful fabric. And we each made something from it. And every time I wear it, people go, oh, there's cats in those roses. It sounds bonkers. But yes, that is an amazing.
You weren't fighting over it in Abercan between you, like, I want the fabric.
Amy found it first. She got a dress, I got a skirt.
I don't say this is. I now know this fabric you're talking about because I've seen Kate's skirt. I did exactly the same. Like, oh gosh, is that good? So, what was the dress you made?
So I made a quick sew pattern. So unfortunately, our quick sew patterns have now been closed. We closed down the quick sew line, but it was a beautiful sort of sweetheart necked dress, and it worked perfectly for denim. So I get that dress out regularly. It's just cozy in denim for winter.
Fabric, amazing. Is there any? It sounds like, I mean, you've done so many different techniques in your party wear sewing. Organza, hand stitching. Is there a technique that you haven't done yet that you want to tackle next, or do you think you've covered everything?
Let me think. I don't.
Is there like a sewing fear? Is there one thing you think, I'm not doing that yet?
Not necessarily fear. I would say that I probably haven't had much opportunity to sew any kind of leatherette or leather, if you prefer. I would choose leatherette as a vegetarian, but each to their own. But those kind of fabrics, I know how to use them, and I've maybe sewn them a couple of times, but I've never made myself. I would quite fancy making a little sort of leatherette jacket or something. That's something that I haven't done a lot of. If I disappeared, hopefully my connection hasn't gone.
I can hear you. I can't
Okay.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
I know all about your leatherette and that you haven't yet gone down that route, but like you say, yeah, maybe for a dress it's not quite.
Yeah, it doesn't come up often, but maybe for a little jacket,
yeah, that
could be good. I must say I've made so many things in the 12 years I've been sewing. I'm a ferocious animal. I just go through all different kinds of projects and I make things for other people. So I've generally tried nearly everything. I haven't made myself a bra. That's probably the only thing that really I've not done. I've made swimwear, so I know I could make a bra.
Yeah.
For some reason I've never done it.
Well, I think that should be one of your New Year's resolutions then for 2023. Yeah. What I haven't done.
Yeah.
Not kicking myself about, but I've never done a boned bodice.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why. I just always think, oh, I'll do something quicker, I think, if I'm honest. So have you done it? Is it, am I delaying it for no reason to just crack on and do it?
You don't need to worry. You can find different types of boning. So you can even just buy boning that's pre-made to sew straight through it. Sew it onto the seam allowance of your lining. Quickly, there you go. You've got like a boning in place. Alternatively, you can make boning channels, which is a little bit more involved, but creates a nicer finish. And then you would insert the boning inside it. So there's different ways to achieve a boned bodice, and a little bit of support, even just up the sides, can be enough to add support and create structure. Or you can go the whole enchilada, bone the whole bodice, add yourself a waist stay, and create some real support to hold up your garment.
Wow, can you move it with all that? That seems very, very supported. Yeah, I do want to try it, but I don't know whether to go. I like the sound of the ready to phoning ready to just sew straight in. That sounds like maybe a compromise for me to start with.
If speed is of the essence, then
It is at this point in life, yeah. And then when I get some more time, I'll go full on with the casing and the waistband and loads of layers. But yeah, maybe not just at the moment.
Amy, your camera doesn't seem to be coming back on. Do you want to pop out and pop back in again so we can see your lovely face?
I will give it a go. I'll be back
Maybe come back.
in another second.
Because otherwise, folks at home are going to be stuck with me, and nobody wants that. So, Michelle, tell us more about your dressmaker's ball.
My outfit. You can't see it very well, I'm sorry. But yes, so I made it from a McCall's pattern. I've forgotten it already, and I told you before, but I'll go back to the pattern picks page because that probably is my favourite. So the pattern picks pages in Love Sewing 113 are all about party dresses, as it's special party issue. And on there is M7047 with the lady in the pink sequins. And so I use this pattern, I'm not going to lie, it's because I've used it before, and so I didn't have to tweak the fit too much, and it's made from knit fabric, so again, it's easier to fit when I was on limited time. And I use the bodice from that pattern that has the cowl. You don't have to have the cowl on it, you can just have round neck. And I was going to make it the full dress. It has an amazing trail at the back, train at the back. Not really big, it's not quite bridal, but there's a bit of a train, so it's quite dramatic. And the first time I made it in like a stretch black velvet with all red flowers over it, and I did go the full length. And then I just thought, no, I have done that already. It's time to mix it up a little bit. So I used a McCall's trouser pattern, stretch pattern. I kind of mashed the two together as the most technical way I can put it, with some elastic in the middle to make my jumpsuit. And the fabric was from, as I know, talking about Abercan, and they do have these amazing sort of crates of fabric where you go and have a rummage and pick out what you like, and they weigh it and then they tell you the price. And I have had that sparkly stretch fabric for, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 years, it could even be longer, and I kept it there on my stand waiting for a ball moment to use it. So that's what I made for the ball. Whilst waiting for Amy, I'll tell you about some of my other favourite patterns for sewing for parties. I wrote the numbers down because the numbers just don't stay in unless it's M7969. I've got here McCall's M7047 as my favourite. Oh, thank you, Kate. Can you type it? M7047.
That's that one.
Okay. Vogue 9253. I think you'll recognise this one when it comes up. Really, really popular.
The 9253.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, they've redone the packet. I think it was the envelope. Maybe we'll restart. So this envelope, or the look of this dress, has a very, very low V, which I am well past the point in life of having it. Well, I was never there to have a V all the way down there, but it's a stunning pattern, and I raised the neckline to feel a little bit more comfortable. And so V9253 is a stunning pattern. It's been really, really popular, and I have made that at least twice. It's the dress I often have on the welcome page, my official headshot for Love Sewing. It's colour blocked in 2 shades of pink, so you can tell the kind of things I like. And I've also made it in like a satin fabric that Amy was talking about. So I've made that twice. Amy's missing out on all my good.
She's trying to get back in.
I've done it. I've said it all. So yes, and my other, I've done 3. I asked Amy for 3, so I'll give them 3. Is McCall's. Oh no, I've only got 3 numbers. Does that? Oh, I've put V897. That won't work. It won't be a V. It will be something else. If you try McCall's 897, and then maybe we'll get the. I'm missing a number. It's one of their vintage patterns. No.
Oh, I think I know which one it is. Is it the one that you did recently? Is it this one?
Oh no! Oh, no, I'm not. No. Oh, I do love that one. We can talk about that one instead. No, that's not the one. That's another vintage one I've made recently. Oh, it's all on my Instagram. The numbers. I haven't made that one. That's a new one for me. The one I'm talking about is a McCall's one. You have to check it out. It's from their vintage range. It's quite a 50s style, and it has a cummerbund around the waist that you can attach a full length, like a separate skirt, again like a train. Really dramatic. But you don't have to have that. So I've made it twice. I have never gone for the full train because just in my daily life I can't really justify it. But I've worn it. I've made it twice as like an everyday dress. Well, no, one every day. And one that's a bit more glamorous. So I really recommend that pattern. And at some point, hopefully, we can add a link for you so I can show you the one I'm talking about. Do we know what's happened to Amy?
She still can't get back on.
What's she?
Oh no. She's trying, but we might have to try again another day.
All right. Oh, what a shame. Well, whilst we're waiting, I can give you a sneaky peek of the Vogue supplement that comes with 113. And I do think there's. Have you mentioned the competition around?
Yes.
Is it up there already, or do we need to look?
I have put up some notes. Anyone who leaves a comment, which is, I mean, currently, Alison, it's just you, so your odds are really good.
Looking good, Alison. If you. This is very unfair if it doesn't go your way. Oh. Okay, so people know about that. Okay. Oh, then here's the V9253 that I was talking about.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. With the V not so low down. And I like, when the dresses have a tie option, so you can cinch things in at the waist. And you know, a lot of patterns don't have that. There's no reason why you can't just make one to add on. I do that quite a lot. I think this dress has pockets, which a lot of people love. Oh, I'm saved. Hello. I thought you weren't coming back.
Technology is not our friend today, but I found a way around it. Thank you for waiting for me.
Well, I wasn't really waiting. I've just been chatting away.
No, that's good.
My favorite patterns without you. Sorry.
No, I love it. Keep going.
Well, no, I've gone through them. I'll quickly tell you my top three, but one of them I'm missing a number on. So, McCall's M7047 is the one I use for my dressmaker's ball jumpsuit. It's on the pattern picks pages. Vogue 9253. That's with the very
the V-neck. That one again is such a fan favorite. Unbelievable response to it. A lot of people say it's too low, but you know, you can easily just raise the neckline slightly. I mean, did you alter the neckline at all on yours?
I certainly did. Yes. Yeah. It looks probably more like this. Yes. So I raised it probably about 6-7 inches. Quite a lot.
Exactly.
But I would say.
So there's just raise the notch.
Yeah, and that wasn't difficult to do.
Exactly.
Some time back, so I watched a YouTube tutorial on how to do it, and it was quite simple. Yes, Kate showed me pictures. Like, yes, that's the dress I'm talking about.
There was one that we couldn't find the number for.
Okay.
It's M7897.
Oh, 879. She's typing it in. Oh, that's the one. Oh, yes. Coming up now.
I'll put the link in chat.
Thank you, Kate.
M7897. What did I have? 897. What did I miss? The 7. Yes. Vogue 9253, the V-neck one, is I say not just my favourite. It's loads of people's favourite, isn't it? Have you made that one?
I haven't. So we've actually, it was so popular. So I don't know if people noticed with our numbers, we work our way through the numbers and then we restart again. So we're actually back to 1/7s and then onwards for the Vogues. And that Vogue dress was so popular that when we came back round again, we've reissued it as 1735. So some people know it from its original number, some people know it from its new number. If you go to our website and type in either of those numbers, you will find it on sewdirect.com. I haven't made it yet, but I think I'm going to have to, because it's just been every day I log on and look at people's inspiration, and it just looks so wonderful in different fabrics and different people making it and all these different figures and heights, and oh my gosh, party looks, day looks. And yeah, I think I'm going to have to add that to my ever growing.
It'll, yes, like infinite, yeah. Yeah, no, you do have to add that one, because it's another one where I walk along and the full skirt and you just feel like brilliant. Yeah.
Transformed. Love it.
So M7047, my number one for for party wear. Vogue 9253. What's the new number, did you say?
1735, I believe.
It's the number 2, and the number 3, Vogue 7897, which is from the vintage range, and it's the one that has a cummerband here, and then it has like an optional train at the back.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and you can have the skirt mid-length or full length, depending on how fully glam you want to go. And I was just saying before, I've made it twice, but more for every day without the train and in quite everyday fabric. So I have that ready. You know, if I do decide to make something else for the Christmas party, that's
that would be nice then.
Maybe. On train. Yeah. We shall see. Yeah. In the Vogue part of the book, there's lots of pattern inspiration, some stunning patterns in there, especially the one that's on the front. And
beautiful.
We talk about this one with the lace. Let me show people. Ooh, wow, that is something else, isn't it? That is so dramatic, fabulous.
That's so beautiful. Again, learning to sew with lace is a great skill to have in your sewing arsenal. But yeah, that one's it's very dramatic in the black and red.
I love it. B9372, special occasion. That is definitely a special occasion dress, and that is not one for doing the shopping.
Yeah, really good.
Sewing with lace being, a very handy weapon in your sewing armory. Have you got any tips for sewing with lace? If anyone hasn't sewn with lace before?
So lace is really interesting because it depends on whether you choose something with a very large motif that you might need to pattern match. So some of the rules that you would use for pattern matching a big print of any kind of printed fabric, you would use some of the same rules for pattern matching lace, but you actually lay it over each other, sew on top, and then trim away the excess from underneath to reduce bulk, which is quite an exciting technique to practice. Lace also allows you to master the use of linings and underlinings. So an underlining would be the layer of fabric that directly sits underneath your lace, which could be a contrast colour or a contrast fabric. You could use satin to add shine underneath, or a matte fabric. Yeah, there you go. And then you would also line it as you would line a normal garment. So you're playing with different layers of fabric. You mount the lace on top of the interlining, sew it together around the edges of your pattern piece, and sort of treat it as one. So that's a really interesting way to play with texture and definition with your lace. Plus, it's, there's lots of stretch laces, so don't feel like you have to make some very formal fitted lace dress. We have a few different patterns that suit stretch lace. There's a beautiful McCall's one, the number sort of escapes me at the minute, but she's wearing a sort of stretch lace outer with almost like a nude illusion. It's a white lace Kate if you're googling for it.
Yes,
on a blonde model.
I'm getting a lovely flashback of your underlinings and interlinings feature that you did for Love Sewing, and that dress was one of the images that went with that feature, so we'll have to dig that out and share it. It's a really useful, helpful feature, and that dress you're talking about is Lovely.
Perfect. So there you go. So don't be put off. You don't have to have certain type of laces. They are quite varied. You can get very dense ones where the pressure's off a little bit to pattern match them, or you can work with these beautiful large scale motifs to create something a bit more dramatic. So yeah, I definitely recommend using lace. It's good fun.
Yeah, that sounds very helpful and interesting. Thank you, Megan. So we talked a little bit about sequins. You mentioned messy, but we said sort of messy in a good way. What about actually sewing with it, with sequin fabrics?
So sequins, yes, I would recommend laying out an old towel or an old sheet around your sewing area before you get started.
Oh.
And then you're going to want to remove the sequins that are along the seam lines of your pieces, because when the needle goes through them, they can break and fly off and potentially fly in your face. That's no good fun. And then they can also be quite bulky if you leave them in the seam allowance and press it flat without the sequins making you look all distorted. So you can either, depending on the types of sequins you've got, you're going to be unpicking them or smashing them yourself to break them free, because often sequins are on one long can fly off. That's just the way it goes. They're generally attached like, and if needed, you can hand sew them back on to fill in any bald spots. But yeah, it's a little bit more time consuming, but they create such dramatic garments for speedy people. I know we've got lots of those. Speedy people should pick something with very minimal seam lines, even just like a t-shirt pattern. You can make that amazingly in sequin fabric, and it should come together quite quickly.
Yes, that's true. It's choosing the right pattern, isn't it? And like you say, minimal seam lines is not only going to disrupt, it's going to disrupt the sequins less, isn't it? And be quicker and easier to sew. Like you say, it doesn't have to be something with maybe not this dress in sequins. Oh, I mean, good, but be prepared to take some time. And do you think, when you say about moving the sequins off the seam line, would that be every seam line?
Yeah.
You need to
know what you're getting yourself into, the number of seams.
Yeah, and that's why when I was picking fabrics for these, because there is quite a lot of panels, is picking the
Care about what you look like from behind.
What's that? Amy, I didn't catch what you said. What did you say? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh no! Okay, the technology against us. I was saying you could leave all the seams in the back without doing the removing and just look fantastic.
Stand against the wall all night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was picking fabrics that didn't have a complicated print for these dresses, so that it wouldn't take somebody a very long time to match it up. Are you team pattern match or team it doesn't matter, to go with it?
So I would say one of my superpowers and the thing I'm proudest in is I love pattern matching, and I have a few videos that and tutorials that I've shared in the past. I always think if you've got enough fabric, pattern matching, it can just have such a high impact and make you feel like some kind of wizard when you get it right. So if you're interested in that, we could definitely do more tutorials on pattern matching, because I think there's nothing better than pulling the zip up and having it be truly invisible, because the pattern matching across the back is flawless.
I agree. That is an incredibly satisfying achievement that feels great. Yeah, and it does give you a little bit of a superiority complex, because you do see in a lot of ready-to-wear clothes that they don't do that. So it's another bonus that you can make that work on your clothes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, pattern matching fabric. I know I've asked you about rolled hems. Did you say you did a rolled hem on your wedding dress?
So I generally do rolled hems using my overlocker. You can adjust the settings so it wraps the edge of the fabric and rolls it neatly under itself, creating a beautiful rolled hem. You can also get little rolled hem feet that go on your sewing machine. I find them quite fiddly, so I don't often we've got to have patience to use them. And you would feed, it's kind of like almost like a lovely shell curve shape on the front of the foot. You feed your fabric in and it curls it for you as it goes under the machine. I would then also recommend a hand sewn rolled hem if you've got time, because that is a truly invisible and flawless finish. Yeah, depending on how big your hem is. If it's 20 meters, maybe not.
I'm going to go back to the overlocking method that you mentioned, because that sounds a bit. Do you think the overlocking method is easier than the rolled hem foot?
Yes. If you've got an overlocker, and I'm definitely not saying everyone has to have one, they're a very handy tool. Maybe you could put it on your Christmas list, because again, they're so useful for all different kinds of sewing. But being able to just run it through the machine and have it make a rolled hem for you is fantastic.
Shall I tell you my cheaty way of making a fit? It's not a rolled hem, but just a super narrow hem.
Little narrow hem, yes, please.
The quick option. Quilter's tape is I use a lot. Double-sided.
Oh.
And it comes in sort of 1/4 inch width. So I probably should admit this, but yeah, no, it's a good quick. Oh, she's gone again. Just as I was about to reveal my top secret lazy tip. The secret strike. Maybe the secret stays with me, and I don't reveal my. Although, would people like to know my?
I want to know your secret sneaky
It's not that secret. I have mentioned it in Love Sewing magazine before, so I'm not sharing anything that I'm not already willing to admit. Is yes, quilter's tape that is double-sided and washes away, and it comes. I use the 1/4 inch tape, so when I use that on a hem and I stick it all around the bottom of my hem, I know that all the way around there is 1/4 inch. Don't do any measuring. That's already been done, and then I take off the first layer of paper, then I fold it and I fold it again and I stitch over it, and that's it, job done, narrow hem.
That doesn't sound like cheating.
No, it's just using the tools that are available. And I'm using quilting tape. It's not like I'm using something that's not for sewing. And then it washes out, so you don't also end up with tape in your dress. But it just doesn't sound as glamorous as using a rolled hem foot, or which I have done. And it is very satisfying because you see it curl through the foot as you sew, and if you can nail that, it's brilliant. But I do resort to the tape in a hurry. Do we have any questions from anybody on party sewing?
I've not seen anything else come through.
No. Well, there's Amy back again. Hello.
I will not be defeated. I will stay on this stream.
Thank you. Well, amazingly, we've only got 10 minutes left. It's gone really, really quick. I'm sure you and I together could chat about sewing for days. Like an hour isn't really going to cover it, is it? So we'll have to talk again. Today we talked about party sewing. Maybe we need to do another one on sewing coats or sewing.
Coats is great, or sewing New Year's resolutions. We could kind of look at some new skills you might want to push yourself to try. So jeans, coats, so active. Yeah, excited to make.
Yeah. So will you come back and speak to us again about all things sewing?
I definitely will. It's always fun chatting to you.
And to you, yeah. It's much easier this way than written down, to be able to just speak.
Oh yeah. Although without the camera issue.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's not entirely true. Yeah. And what are your plans for the rest of the day?
So I am working on a sew along for one of our new McCall's patterns. So I'm recording that. We have a beautiful new blouse that has pin tucks all across the neckline, and then you can alternate the directions of the pin tucks to make sort of a cathedral window effect on the blouse. So that'll be coming soon. And we've got a Butterick half price sale on at the minute, so I'm telling people about that. You can pick up some new patterns for half the price.
Fantastic. And you sound a very busy lady with lots to do.
No.
I think I've seen that top you've just mentioned with the pin tucks and the wave effect crust. Yes, I've seen that in your new catalogue. It looks very, very nice. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it arrived a little late, so it is a little summery, but my sew along's going to teach you how to lengthen the sleeves so you can make yourself a nice autumn top. So yeah, look out for that.
We will, definitely. Yeah, great. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining. It really has been lovely to speak to you, and we will definitely do it again, but I will leave you to do all those things that you need to go and do. So, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. It was so nice to talk to you both, with Kate behind the camera.
Cheers, guys.
Alison, send us your address so we can post you a magazine.
Yes, do. You absolutely deserve that magazine. Yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
ladies. I'll
Thank
speak to you
you.
again soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.